Hey guys, it's Jack with Future Pastimes, and it is the end of 2023 as of the recording of this video. It's December 31st. It's 123, 123, as a lot of people figured out recently, and I thought I'd do a recap of the year, talk about what the site has done, and talk about what is coming up in 2024, although I can't really get into a ton of specifics, but I'll do my best. I started this site in earnest about a year ago. I had done a few videos of Cosmic Encounter, reviews of expansions, more than a year ago. But then didn't really do a whole lot with the site. But about a year ago, I decided I wanted to do more videos regularly. I wanted to showcase the games that Future Pastimes designs and have come out over the last year. And I wanted to be able to do strategy videos and breakdowns of different elements of the games to help people understand it, because we want people to play the games. We want them to play them correctly. We want them to understand how stuff works. The rule books are always hit and miss, and there's always nuances, and you could phrase something with the help of a committee, and somebody outside of that committee is going to find a new way to interpret what is written or not really fully understand it. So that's always going to be an ongoing struggle. But I think the videos will help to clarify, to give somebody something they can point to say, no, check out this video, and this explains how that works pretty well, hopefully pretty well. So that was my objective. I wanted to be able to also interact more with the gaming community and try to build up a larger playtest pool that Future Pastimes can tap into. We started our Discord channel a year ago as well. So that's been slowly growing. It's mostly for playtesting and events like our invitationals, which we shamelessly stole that idea from the Dune Tabletop Discord. And I'll be playing in an invitational with them early in 2024. And we intend to do some more. We're going to bring back some trivia. So we've got Dune Trivia is coming up in 2024. So if you think that you could fare well at Dune Trivia, and it's going to be wide open Dune, so it's not just about, oh, I know the 2019 edition. How much do you really know about Dune? It's going to be some of the questions. And if you know a lot, you will score really well. And so we're going to do that at some point. If you're interested in that, let us know. You can let us know in the comments, but it's best to join the Discord channel, because that's where we're going to hold it. And I'll put another link here in the description. You know, they expire, which I recently learned why Discord does that. It's to help cut down on, malware and bad actors. So yeah, I'll just try to keep updating that link so that people can get in there, join it. We certainly don't mind people using the voice channels to play. You're free to do so. Their voice channels are there. We have hidden ones and locked ones, and if you can't see them, then you don't have to worry about accidentally going into them. The ones that you can see, feel free to jump in there and use them if you want to play. But the Future Pastimes Discord community knows the links to, like the other one. There's the Cosmic Coliseum, which is, I think, a better venue, has more people able to play Cosmic more often, and of course the Dune Tabletop Discord has a lot more members, and so more regularly playing on TTS and on Treachery Online. Over this year, I've gotten 1,000 subscribers, probably a little over 1,000. So thank you for subscribing. That is very helpful in helping to get the channel out there. If you're watching this and you're not subscribed, I hope that you will. I know that I said in my little intro thing that I wouldn't pester people about it all the time, but this is a recap, so I think it's outside of the normal bounds. So my goal is to get another 1,000 in the next year. Actually, I'd love to get like 4,000. I don't know. It helps with the algorithm and blah, blah, blah. You've watched other videos on YouTube, you know about that whole thing, and smash the bell, whatever. Coming up in 2024, Future Pastimes, we have an expansion coming out. That's about all I can say. I can't really get into what it's about or when, but I can tell you that we're very excited about it, because it takes the game that it is expanding to the next level. And I think it's going to really open up its appeal to a lot of people. we're hoping to also have another game and some expansions coming out at some point, and it will be a non-Dune thing, so something kind of new for future pastimes. That's all I can really say about that. I'm sorry, I really, the publisher likes to be in complete control of all the information, so that's fine. And at some point it will be announced, and then I will start talking about it, and I'll be doing a lot more videos about it, some insights, design process, strategy, and whatnot. And so I hope people will be as excited about it as we are. We really think it's very cool. And our playtesters also seem to really enjoy that particular game too. So you'll know when it happens, because I won't shut up about it. I'm going to keep doing breakdowns on different things for Dune. So I'm going to be finishing up the Homeworld series, which is sort of every Tuesday, going through all the homeworlds by faction alphabetically. I'll do a breakdown of each of the Nexus cards as well. We'll continue doing Cosmic Encounter Alien of the Month. I'll get back into some more technologies and some other stuff. Of course, feel free to chime in if there's stuff that you want to see content for. Then go ahead and let me know. Let me know in the comments, or let us know in the Discord channel. If you want to be a playtester, because we continue to playtest stuff. So we're going to be playtesting stuff for Cosmic Encounter and Dune. There's no guarantee it'll ever be published, but I like to be prepared. And if it turns out like, no, it's never going to be published, we'll probably release it on TTS. We might put files on so people can do their own print and play or whatever. So we do like to get stuff playtested as much as possible. Send me an email at JACKREDA. It's my name, jackreda@gmail.com. And I will give you our Future Pastimes NDA to sign, and then you are welcome in, and you'll get to see some hidden channels for playtesting and whatnot. In terms of some of our other games, so we, I designed an expansion for Firefly Misbehaving, but that's almost certainly never going to be published. They did do some extra market cards as promos for their Firefly 10th anniversary Game Found thing, and so if you bought Misbehaving through that, you were going to get some exclusive promos. They were new market cards, which were from the expansion that I designed. At some point, I will probably release that again on TTS, and I'll post the files. It's a very cool expansion. I really love that game. I think that it started off as Dune themed version of it, and it was I think the publisher was like, we got enough Dune stuff out right now, but we would like to see a Firefly version. So the Dune version is very different. I had to change a lot of stuff to make it work for Firefly, and I wanted it to be more thematic to Firefly, so I changed a lot of how that game works. The Dune one is still, I think, a great game. That will probably never be published, and that's fine. I have it, so I can play it. But I do like the Firefly one. I think it got a bad rap, I think, because it subverted a lot of expectations. I think the biggest complaints that I've heard from people is that it's not like other deck building games, which I think that was the whole point. I definitely didn't want it to just be Dominion Firefly, and I love Dominion. I've got every expansion for Dominion. It's my favorite deck builder, and so I love that. You're all playing your own little game of building your own engine. There's not a ton of interaction, so I wanted to go in a completely different direction. I didn't want it to be easy to just go, oh, I've got this engine where I'll just play a card, draw a card, play a card, draw a card, draw 3 cards. Oh, great, I can buy victory points. My turn is over. And that's exactly how long that turn takes. And we don't really interact with each other. I know Dominion has some attack cards, but it's really kind of a low rent version of interaction. And again, that's fine. I like the experience for Dominion for what it is, but I did not want to just copy that. I know it is a deck builder, but I wanted to do different things with it. And so I also didn't want it to be like the other Firefly game, which is another complaint that I heard from a lot of people who were like, well, it's not like Firefly, so I don't like this game. And so I didn't think that was fair, but whatever. If you haven't tried it out, if you want to try it out, I'm happy to do demos of it in TTS and teach you how to play. You can judge for yourself. I think it is interactive. You do have to pay attention to what other people are doing on their turns. You need to really be thoughtful about what you do. It's a game where you have options almost every turn. Because my big thing in design is I don't want the game to play itself. If you've only really got one choice, then it's no choice. And if you're like, well, I could do two things, but one of them is clearly way better, then again, the game is playing itself, which I hate. I don't like games that do that. I like people to have to make tough decisions. And not to the point where we're talking about analysis paralysis. That's not what I'm trying to foster, but it's a matter of I can do this and that would be great, but I could also do this, which would be great too. And I have to make a command decision. I've got to decide which one of these is going to be the right choice right now. And some of what's going to influence that is the reaction I'm going to get from the other players. Am I sort of tempting them to attack me too early? Should I play it a little more conservatively? Those are the sorts of things that I find interesting in a board game. So that's what I wanted to do with Firefly. So I don't think it is information overload. I think, having choices, I think is good. I play a lot of Magic the Gathering, and every time I play it with somebody, because there's so many cards, every time somebody plays a card, everyone has to stop and read it. And that's just a phenomenon that anybody who plays Magic is used to. So I don't think that it even approaches that level of, I've got to be familiar with the cards. You've got 6 market cards out there at a time. They're not getting replenished so fast that it's hard to keep up with what they do. So whatever, it's a thing. Arrakis was another one that didn't do as well as we were hoping. It was based on Borderlands, which was a game that was ahead of its time when it came out in 1980. But we improved upon it in so many different ways to make it more interesting. But what I thought was funny about that was we saw a playthrough of people playing Arrakis, but they were playing it like it was, hey, it's a game about gathering resources and then spending them to develop stuff. And that's what the game is. And that is not what the game is. Yes, you are developing resources to create things, but that game is about attacking other players, and everything else is in support of that. You are developing the resources so you can build weapons that you can use in combat, and you're using the trade and the shipment to marshal those resources, to your borders so that you can launch an attack with it. So it is supposed to be a brutal, cutthroat game of attack. So if you were playing it as just a resource gathering game, then you should rate it very low, because that's not what it was supposed to be at all. I mean, the rulebook has like 6 pages dedicated to attack. So that was a clue that that's really what you're supposed to be doing. It's really, you can play it as just a simple, hey, we're Fremen tribes on our borders, we're trading and we're trying to build our stuff, and whoever builds their thing first wins. You can play it. I don't think it's very interesting, and I would, rate that a 4 myself if that was the experience, because there's not a lot to it if that's all that you're doing. But if you're like, I'm trying to figure out where I can attack you, that you can't block me, or somebody else in a 3 or 4 player game can't support you to prevent me from doing it, but I got to worry about my opposite border because I've put so much of my strength on the left side, so the right side is a little bit weaker. And if you've got a great maker, it's going to be able to move 5 territories. So I've got to look and see, how can you get that in, and how much strength is it going to be? So it's a game where there's no hidden information. It's all right there. Can you suss it all out? That's the thing. That's why I like Arrakis. So I think that got a bad rap as well. I've designed an expansion for it that will never be published. The idea there is that I wanted to fast forward the timeline a little bit and bring the Harkonnens in. They've got their ornithopters and their laser guns. And so now it's a little asymmetrical, where they're just trying to get spice, and the Fremen are trying to do their thing at the same time. I think it's pretty fascinating. So, if you want to play test that for its never publication, let me know, because I'm going to work on that in my spare time. Working on a couple other games that I'm hoping will get published in the next few years, and we'll definitely need playtesters for that. It's stuff that is, familiar IP. It's not Dune, but it's got some really interesting mechanisms that I think will be fun. We're going to continue working on Dune-related stuff because we've become kind of Dune experts over the last few years. I'm going to finish up Dune this year. Getting very close to the end of the book. A couple people have asked me if I'm going to start reading Messiah. My plan is not to start reading Messiah, at least not right away. If Denis Villeneuve is going to make a part 3, which will be based on Messiah, once that gets announced that it's going to be made, then I will crack open the book and I will read it chapter by chapter along with the tens of people who have been reading along with Dune. So yeah, let me know if you're going to be on board for that. I think that's one that is a little more esoteric compared to Dune, and there's not as much action, so it's more scheming behind the scenes sorts of things. It does introduce the Tleilaxu, and that's one of the more interesting elements to that book, I think. Some other stuff that certainly we've drawn upon for the Dune board game. Stoneburner, we're looking at you. So yeah, and we're going to keep doing our like I said, our invitationals. We're going to be playing through all of our games, and as the new stuff comes out, we will be playing that as well. So once again, yeah, let me know if there's particular content that you want to see on the site, and I will continue to do videos of that. I'm going to be getting a new laptop sometime in the next year, and that will make the quality level of Battle Language, I think, go up. Because right now I've got a really weird setup where my desktop computer is an issue with the sound, so I'm not using the microphone on that. So if I try to capture my desktop with that, there's no sound. So I have to record the sound separately, and I'm using an iPad for that. That's normally what I use for Discord. I do stuff with the phone as well, but the quality is not going to be as good. And I know somebody complained about the quality of one of the Battle Languages in terms of the audio. So I'm hoping that the new laptop will solve some of that, and should be, hopefully in a few weeks, we'll get that upgrade, and then I'll just have another computer, but it will be mostly dedicated to the channel here, the YouTube, making sure those videos are better quality, and hopefully get more views and more people coming to the site to check them out. So, like I said, subscribe so that the algorithm finds the dozens of other people out there who would probably enjoy the niche quality, quantity, and variety of videos that I present here. And thanks again for watching, and we'll see you again soon.